Good afternoon, dear students. I'm back to you and I'm glad to be back to you this afternoon. Last time we were doing tenses and we had reached to the simple past tense. Today we're gonna do the past continuous tense and whatever follows. The past continuous tense. Well, as the name suggests, what happens in the past continuous tense? Past continuous in the past. Something was continuous in the past. Something was going on in the past. That is what past continuous tense is. An action was going on in the past. That is what past continuous tense is. Clear? Now, as far as the structure is concerned, in this we use was, were, plus first form of the verb plus ing. Now I just want you to differentiate between the present continuous tense and the past continuous tense. In the present continuous tense, something is going on in the present. In the past continuous tense, something was going on in the past. And in the present continuous tense, we were using is mr plus first form plus ing. And in the past continuous tense, we got to use what? Was, were plus first form plus ing. And now let me tell you where to use was and where to use were. Was we used with I, he, she, it, and singular nouns. And verb we got to use with you, we, they, and what? Plural nouns. Clear? Let me make a few sentences for you and you'll understand it. He was dancing last night. He was dancing. Something was going on. The action of dance was going on in the going on in the past. So we are using the past continuous tense. He was dancing last night. What was going on last night? He was dancing. Something going on in the past. Another example. She was crying in the morning. Now something was going on in the past. What? She was crying. They were playing cricket. They were playing cricket. Well, as far as the negative is concerned, we'll be using not with the helping verb. She was crying, she was not crying, they were playing, they were not playing. I was sleeping, I was not sleeping, like that. That's pretty easy, isn't that? I was not sleeping, they were not bathing in the river, like that. Now, how to make questions? There are two kinds of questions. I have already explained everything to you. What are they? Questions whose answer is either in yes or no, and the other type of question is the takes a long answer, not just yes or no. Now the first type of question begins with a helping verb and the answer is in yes or no. The other type of question does not begin with helping verb. It begins with a wh word and the answer is not in yes or no. Clear? So I'm making a few sentences, few interrogative sentences for you guys to understand. So as you know, we revert the subject and the helping verb. So you were playing. Were you playing? They were shouting. Were they shouting? John was watching TV. Was John watching TV? Well, now you can use question words also before them. Were you playing? Where were you playing? Look here. Where were you playing? Were they shouting? Why the heck were they shouting? Was John watching TV? When was John watching TV? So we can use them. Let me make a few more examples. Who was singing that song? How many students were taking the exam? Why were you not noting down what I was saying? Why were you not noting down what I was saying? Clear? So I think, I have given you a sufficient number of examples for you to understand. So let me repeat myself to conclude. In the past continuous tense, something was continuous in the past, means something was going on in the past, and the structure is as simple as playing with marbles. What is that? Was verb plus first form plus ing. In the negative you use not. In the questions you do know how to make questions. The first type of question begins with helping verbs. The other type of questions begins with what? WH words, and you do know how to make them, don't you? So practice. Use some books also after listening to this video, and just because practice alone can make you perfect. Now let me move on to the next tense, past perfect tense. Now, past perfect tense. In the past perfect tense, see, as the name suggests, something was perfect in the past. Means something had been done in the past, something was over in the past. It didn't continue. It was over. It had been perfect. It had been made perfect. It was over. So, in past perfect tense means something had been done in the past, and the structure is again real simple. Had plus third form. That's all. Do you remember what structure was there in the present perfect tense? It was has a plus third form. Here it is had plus third form. Easy, isn't it? Now, something had been over, something had been done, something was perfect in the past. That is what past perfect tense is. So here I make a few examples for you of the affirmative. Now, he had food. Don't be shocked. He had food. Yeah, you can you can have had food. He had food. Now the first had is the helping verb, and the second had is the main verb. Have had. Clear? Have means a lot of things. Have means take, have means eat, have means drink, have means possess, have means to go through some experience, have means a lot of things. So have means eat also. Don't we say have food? We do. So had is the third form of the same have. That means eat. So he had food. The first had is the helping verb. The second had is the main verb. The third form of have, that means eat. Clear? So he had food. Joel. Okay. No. Okay. Yeah. Joel had already had food. Oh, it's been done. Joel had already got up. Joel had already got up. Clear? David had not yet got up. What do we do in the negative? We just use not with the helping verb. What a big deal. So, David had not yet got up. Mary had cooked food. Now, usually in the past perfect tense, there are two clauses. Let me give you an example for you to understand that. Examples always make things easy, don't they? Now you explain for an hour without examples and you get nothing. But what happens? What you give one example and everything is clear. Here I give you one example. There are two clauses. There are usually two clauses in the past perfect tense, and I hope you do understand what a clause is. I had tea before you came. So I had tea before you came. Before is a conjunction, and we do add two things. Now two sentences by this. We do join two sentences by this. I had tea before you came. Now we have two tenses here in the first clause. The first clause is I had tea. In this we are using past perfect tense, and the second clause is you came. You do know what tense it is, simple past, because it is simply the second form of the verb. So simple past. I had tea before you came. Now we use the past perfect tense, in the sentence which happened first, and we use simple past. We use the simple past tense. What followed? Clear? So I had tea before you came. So what happened first? I had tea, and then you came. So whatever happens first will be in the past perfect tense, and whatever happens after it will be in the simple past tense. Let me give you one more example, and that will make things easier further. They had got up before I called. They had got up before I called. Now, what happened first? Did I call first or they got up first? It was they got up first. So whatever happens first will be in the past perfect tense, as here whatever happens first will be in the past perfect tense, and whatever follows will be in the simple past tense. I repeat myself. What happened first? I called first or they got up first? You say they got up first. Yeah, they did get up first. So whatever happens first will be in the past perfect tense, and whatever follows will be in the simple past tense. They had got up before I called. So I hope it is clear to you. You make a number. You can make a number of examples using this. They had got up before I called. They had finished quarreling with each other before I called them. The train had arrived at the station before I got there. Or the train had left before I got there. I mean, there are a number of examples. You can form as many as you want. The bell had rung before I got to the school. Let me write some maybe one or two examples for you. The bell had rung before I got to the school. She had done the dishes. Well, do the dishes means wash utensils. She had done the dishes before we before we woke up. She had done the dishes before we woke up. And okay, one more example, and then we'll do the negative and the interrogative. And yeah, they had reached the station before the train left. Well, which is a big achievement in India. Okay, so here let me make a few questions using this tense for you. We do remember the structure, had plus third form. So you had gone, you had food, you had not had food, had you had food? Why had you not had food? Pretty easy. Just practice them, make 10 sentences of every kind, and you'll be perfect. Because practice alone can teach you. Practice alone does all the stuff. It is neither you nor your teacher nor nothing else. It's your practice. The more you practice, the better you are at anything in the world. So here, what had you done before I called on you? Now, call on means to visit someone. If I call on you, I visit you. Clear? So what had you done before I called on you? Where had you been before you came to school? Where had you been before you came to school? How had you done it before the teacher explained? Is that clear? Well, so let me conclude for you. What happens in the past perfect tense? Something had been perfect in the past, something had been done. So, and the structure is had plus third form. I had been to Delhi. She had already reached my place. I had already had a talk with him, like that. Clear? So here I finished the past perfect tense, and